thank you for the super chat to King there. UCLA is in first place. Yeah, it's a little crazy. Although we'll see what happens up in Autzen. For the sake of USC and our own destiny, and everything, I guess we have to hope UCLA wins. But that's going to be a rough game for them. I think we'll see. It's going to be wild.
I see Ducks and Trojans.
If we make it to Vegas, I'm going to have to come back to Cocoa Beach because this is my good luck charm.
It's a three-way tie. It's a three-way tie. I do believe that the Ducks and the Utes and they beat Utah. Sorry. So the Ducks, it's a two-way tie between the Ducks and the Bruins, correct?
Yeah. Yep. And they play next week.
Defeated in the Pac-12.
Yep.
And we'll decide next week.
Yeah, exactly. Dale says 10-2 would be a nice first-year record. You're absolutely right. Although 11-1 is still possible. That's wild. That's wild.
Yeah. I didn't think USC would lose. I mean, I was like, gosh, is there any way? I thought they might lose to Notre Dame, maybe Utah, and maybe got by one team. I didn't see them losing more than 3 games, 3 at most. But
you had better faith than we did.
Yeah, they got too much talent, just way too much talent.
Yeah, but it's happening. We don't know what happened in this game, and that's you lose Addison and you lose Gentry for let's say a month. That changes the dynamic. I mean, look what happened in the second half. It changed.
But you got to figure Utah is missing their Jordan Addison. They're missing Brant Keithy.
Yeah, but on our defense, we are very, very thin.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I understand. Listen, I understand people are injured, but this is football. People are going to get hurt.
Kincaid had over 100.
Lincoln Riley will have the depth to where this isn't an issue. But as for a first-year head coach, this will be an issue, and this is part of the process.
That's why I had the Trojans going 8-4 real. Yeah. Because at some point, the injury bug is going to hit you, and you just got to be realistic, just like you pointed out. So, hey, and we still might finish 8-4. You don't know.
No, I think
that is it, Larry. So
one game
the
at a time.
8-4 number is built on the fact that when was the last time you saw an offensive line go through a season, without significant injuries? It happens, but it's very rare. And the USC's offensive line, we've sustained some injuries, and we've done a good job, but we're still very paper thin. We lose a couple linemen, it's going to get really tough for USC down the stretch.
Yeah, but when you got Caleb Williams doing that magician crap, oh my, I mean, that was amazing tonight, what he was doing back there when they could get to him, if they could. Like he was amazing I haven't seen anybody get out of pressure like that since Vince Young, really, to be honest. Who did you notice was on the sidelines?
Yeah. He's at the game. He's at the game. It gave me a little PTSD from that one time.
He hates USC so bad he had to come stand on Utah's sideline, I guess. I don't
funny that you think our games anymore. We always lose close ones when Vince Young is there. Jeez.
Yeah. Vince Young is banned from our games.
Last Rose Bowl score, 41-38, something like that.
Larry, it's funny you think that he reminds you that you think Williams. You know, it reminds me of oh my gosh, blanked out on his name. What were we talking about?
Vince Young.
Vince Young. The thing about Vince Young is your back rising on that, especially on that 2-point conversion. I was having flashbacks. He went to his left instead of his right to the corner. But man, that size and speed that he has, you can't tackle that dude solo. You know what I mean? And so on that run, I was just closing my eyes because I knew he was going to keep that thing. And that was just, size, speed, and strength, and it was a great play call.
He had a great game tonight. He had one of his best. I think he played his best game he's ever played at Utah. He played tonight. So if he wouldn't have, we wouldn't have had a chance.
Well, hey, his best game, the biggest crowd in USC's last game at Rice Eccles. You guys are going to miss us. You know that. So
yeah, this is going to suck. I don't know. Utah's, I don't know. Maybe the Big Ten will go to 20 and we'll get an invite. I doubt it, but anyway.
Hey, well, we're going to leave you with the Pac-12 refs. So we lost the game, but you guys still got the Pac-12 refs. So sucks to be you guys.
Yeah, but you're still going 11-1 and going to the championship.
There you go. And we'll soon be in the
I already
years.
Yeah.
Hey, I'd love to see this game again in the championship. That'd be something else, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
I don't know. Maybe you guys get into the CFP and we can only go to the Rose Bowl, so maybe it would work out. Yeah, you know what? I'm all in. It sounds good. The best we can do is the Rose Bowl anyway. So,
Larry, did I just hear CFP for USC even after this loss?
Yeah, because they're going 12-1.
I hate to break. I don't think a 12-1 team from the Pac-12 makes the playoffs.
Darrell, hold on.
Let me answer that. Let me answer that one. Darrell, it's because you're from the SEC and outside your bubble, you think that you guys are the only ones that can get in without being undefeated.
Clemson, I think, is going to go undefeated. So they're taking a spot. Ohio State or Michigan's going to go undefeated. So that's another spot. And then the SEC championship game is probably going to be another spot, or the other two spots.
Right. So
no, you're not getting two spots.
Let me finish this. That's your insular thought being from the SEC that you guys are always afforded 2 spots to the playoffs. Here's what I'm going to explain to you.
Tim, I could make it 3. We could make it 3 this year.
Hold on, Darrell. Let me finish. If USC was going to get to that point at 12-1, that means they'd have to beat UCLA. That means they have to beat possibly down in the combination of either Oregon or Utah again in the championship game. And we have one loss by 1 point. Right? No, we have a loss by 2 points to a very good Utah team at home at the last second. You really think it's a bad loss?
It's not a bad loss, but I think the other resumes are just better, slightly better than USC.
Guys, hold on. We're not going to have the SEC nonsense discussion because there's a lot of football to be played before we would even be dealing with that point.
And
there's so many ifs there that I don't even want to have that. I'm going to end that. I'm going to end this discussion.
Well, it is a compliment to USC.
Hold on. I'm going to say this.
Tim's going to make one point, and then we're going to end. Tim, 30 seconds, go.
I'm going to make my point. Here's the point. I don't think we're going to make it. It's just I'm not going to have an SEC fan come in and say that there's no way a 1 loss, because we're assuming USC. If it's a 1 loss Oregon or a 1 loss UCLA, they should be there as well. So I'm sorry. I'm not buying this SEC crap that only the SEC can have 1 loss and then get 2 teams into the playoffs. I'm kind of tired of that. And our league has shown this year that we aren't the Pac-12 of last year or last 3 years. We're back to being normal, and we're a solid Power 5 team.
And there's a lot more football, so let's move on. You guys, do we think that we had some injuries tonight? Do we think that they will at all potentially cause issues for the next couple games, or will we have time to get everybody healed?
Doesn't USC play Colorado next?
Yeah, and then Cal and Arizona. I forget which order.
I know.
They have a bye, then Arizona, then home to Cal, and then home to Colorado.
Arizona might be tricky, but I don't see any real challenges. I think they win 20-plus points in all those games.
Yep.
And give guys time to heal, I think.
Yep. Exactly. The bye is in a very critical spot for USC. This is a perfect time to have a bye.
Yep.
Yeah, it'll be 9-1. Unfortunately, we have 9 conference games, unlike the SEC. Otherwise, we'd have a little Sisters of the Poor game coming up as well right before UCLA.
It would be nice. I mean, you guys, as much as we bag on the orphanage game that I like to play on like November 10th, like it's kind of nice. I mean, it's terrible. It's get an extra bye. It's terrible football, but it's kind of nice. We play Notre Dame, although we played a team that just lost to Stanford, so maybe we do have another bye.
Yeah, didn't Notre Dame also lose to Marshall?
They lost this. Yeah, if you said USC is going to end their season with a team that can't beat Stanford or Marshall, we'd have been like, "Oh my gosh, what are we, the SEC?" But no. Instead, sorry, Will, we're just teasing you. Poor Will.
I still think Notre Dame has a good shot against Clemson.
I hope so. I mean, I'm going to be at the game, so I don't want to see a blowout. I don't want to see us get blown out.
It's in South Bend, right?
Yeah.
Ghost things happen in South Bend. Yeah. South Bend and the Carrier Dome are where weird things happen. I mean, speaking of the Carrier Dome, Syracuse is undefeated.
We're going to the Carrier Dome right before the week before we play Clemson.
Yeah, I mean, all this talk about the SEC. What about undefeated Syracuse? It's a wild time.
Good for them. They got Clemson, I believe, next week, so that'll be a good game.
And I think it's in the dome too, isn't it?
Not sure about that.
Okay, if it is, God help them. That's a crazy place. It's going to be wild.
So
exactly. And as 66 Lucky Dude points out, take no one lightly in a rivalry game is 100% true.
Exactly. If USC beats Notre Dame, goes 10-2 this year, that's, in my opinion, that's a successful year for USC. Would you all agree?
Who's their other loss?
We'll say UCLA.
Well, considering everyone on this panel was saying 8-4, I think for us three,
throw the glitter in the air. That's glitter, make it rain, as Kevin would say.
Yeah, if you go from 4-8 to 10-2, rebuilding a whole roster in 1 year. But I said this earlier as well. There's a big aspect of this that people got to keep realize is also that if we go 9-3, 10-2, 11-1, you guys have Trojans out there. Do you know how we recruit when we have 10-win seasons at this school? It's going to be beautiful. A ridiculous waterfall of riches for us. Not to mention, there's a lot of guys out there, linemen included. There's a lot of 5- and 4-star linemen that are really upset about their playing time. It's just going to get better the way Riley has showcased this offense. I can't imagine anyone in the country not wanting to play in this offense.
Yeah, and I'm very impressed with the cultural fit that Lincoln Riley has managed to achieve. I thought for sure there would be some type of rift just because of the amount of movement and different parts and pieces, but there hasn't been any of that. And USC players are looking inspired. You had that one guy I saw come from the medical tent out onto the field, hyping up his players, and then he ran back into the medical tent. That's just limping. Awesome.
He couldn't even really walk, and he's limping his way out on the field to rally everybody.
The giraffe?
Yeah, Eric Gentry.
Yeah, and the angry giraffe. But the thing is also on that is you also saw Caleb Williams a little bit earlier. He wasn't talking to his offensive lineman. He was hyping up the defense. So you guys, get out there and let's do it. And so the whole issue with that is that there is that culture that people were talking about, how you can put it all together. It's a little easier on defense because, quite frankly, a lot of those guys on defense are transfers, but it just seems like everyone's buying in. So, yeah, there is no cultural rift. Great point, Darrell.
Darrell, I think you bring up a great point. I just recalibrated my expectations now that we've played 7 games and I've seen who this team is. I've seen what the potential is. I'd be disappointed if we lost to UCLA. I'd be disappointed if we lost another game. This team has the ability, having seen what we saw today with Notre Dame losing to Stanford, there's no reason why we shouldn't be 11-1. 11-1.
Yep.
We should beat UCLA. If we lose to UCLA in the Rose Bowl, that's a disappointment. Going 10-2 would be a disappointment at this time. Really, it's 11-1 and qualify for the Pac-12 championship game. That's what the expectation should be now, and that's what I'm saying. So
I like your moxie, Rick.
There we go.
So here's my point.
Yep.
I want to see a little more from UCLA. We're going to get a great showcase of UCLA next week on a great Oregon team.